Good afternoon, folks. We'll be getting started in a couple minutes. Alright, hey everyone, good afternoon. Black 6 from BZPower here. Do another live build. We've got the Volkswagen T2 Camper van, set 10279. Somehow miraculously escaped the price hike that happened, so still only $180 for 2,207 parts. So not a bad deal right off the bat, and especially if you're looking for this azure color. Definitely looks like that it's got quite a bit of variety there for that, but also a very iconic Volkswagen vehicle from the 60s and 70s. So you can see the camper van in all its glory on the front there, little pop-up roof and a surfboard. Living that California lifestyle. On the back of the box, you see the door slides open. There are some stickers included to decorate your camper van with peace and love. We probably aren't going to be doing that. And then some other different play features, like the trunk opens up, the sliding door, the full interior with some different things that can move around, like the seat and a table, it looks like, opening cabinets. So lots of awesome details. A while back, I forget how long ago, we built the T1 camper van, and we're probably not going to finish the set today, so the next stream we do when we actually finish it, we'll probably break out the T1 just so we can kind of compare and see how they stack up against one another. But yeah, with the box out of the way, we can see also it's over 1 foot long and 6 inches tall, so pretty decent size. Let's see what we've got on the inside. Already throwing parts on the floor. No interior box. I was kind of expecting one, so that's interesting that we didn't get that. Still not quite there on the paper bags yet. Hopefully soon. All right, looks like the bags go up to 11. I also just noticed this bag got torn open by some bricks, which is kind of interesting because I think that was one of the things people were afraid might happen when they switched to paper bags, but it can happen with plastic ones too. Hopefully, I didn't hear any parts clatter on the ground, and I didn't see any in the box, so I think we should hopefully be all right from that perspective. Alright, there's all of our parts. Then we have this bag that has the windshield and the tires. Looks like a new windshield piece, I believe. And then, last but not least, our instruction manual. Oh, look at all those stickers. Alright, so we actually have 2 sticker sheets for this set. So you've got the like peace and love ones. Got some interesting stripe patterns, some leaves, some flowers, and this little brick stock sticker, shark warning, wax sticker probably for the surfboard, some palm trees. And then we've got the more standard things. So it looks like we've got like the Volkswagen word mark, we've got the license plates, so that's the gas cap, gas tank, speedometer, odometer, cluster. I think these are for little folding chairs that the set comes with, so those ones we'll probably use. We probably won't be using most of this sheet. And then got our very thick instruction book here, going all into the history of the T2 van and the camper version of it. That is quite the paint job there. And then of course the surfer lifestyle from California in like the 60s. Then we actually have a little bit of description of all the different features in the set, from the camping chairs to the doors to the engine. The engine looks like it might actually be removable. Interesting. Kind of cool that you'll be able to see those details even in the final model. Oh, that's some history of Lego partnering with Volkswagen. Apparently it goes all the way back to 1957. They made a Volkswagen Auto showroom set. And then 2008, the original Beetle. Don't have that one. The T1 camper van in 2011, the second Beetle in 2016, and now here we are with the T2 camper van. Alright, what else we got? And that looks like that is about it for behind the scenes stuff, and then we just kind of start seeing what each bag makes. I suspect we'll probably get through up to 5 or 6 today, since there's 11 numbers. We want to get through at least halfway. So 6 will be what we're shooting for. We'll settle for 11 if time ends up getting short. Lots of Technic pieces here, of course, to create a sturdy frame for the van. Not very surprising. Seem to quite frequently in a lot of the other creator expert / Lego icons, as they're now calling it, vehicles. Got our sets. We've got our brick separator, which of course you need to find a spot in our brick separator mug for it. It's starting to get a little full in here. I'm gonna have to clean that out again. All right, let's get our close-up camera ready here. Start building. So how's everyone been doing lately? Anything exciting going on in your world or your Lego world? I've been watching the new Amazon Middle-earth series, Rings of Power. Been enjoying that so far. Trying to like keep an open mind about it as far as like how it adapts the somewhat limited source material they have. You know, like the even like the films in the early 2000s, right, weren't perfect adaptations of the books. So just try to remind myself that it's not gonna like perfectly match everything we know about Middle Earth. And just enjoy it. It's definitely well done, well shot, beautifully scored. Effects are great. So certainly a treat to watch. We'll just see how they do in kind of bringing that era of Middle Earth to life. Certainly they've got a lot of expectations, a lot of people with high hopes, and a lot of garbage people out there with very not so positive opinions. We'll leave it at that without getting too angry about it. I feel like every episode I watch, I have to head to the one of like the Middle Earth wikis and refresh my memory on like who some of these characters are from all of the lore from the Silmarillion and the appendices and all that fun stuff. I think this has got to be a recolor, fairly recent recolor, if not exclusive to this set. Maybe it's like a monkey kit set or something. A teal 2x, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2x14 plate. Very interesting to see it here in part of the set that's never going to see the light of day. think they're using this hinge brick here as just like a low profile 1x2 brick with studs on the side. Do we have another, like an actual 1x2 brick or something here? No, I only have this taller version. You can kind of like compare it there. So it's almost like it creates a 1x2 brick with studs on the side with no studs on top. So it's the same height as a normal 1x2 brick would be, but it's like, you know, having that bent over edge means no studs, which means you can do something interesting with the top, not have to worry about attaching something there. We'll see how that works. What the gain is here. They're trying to get like low clearance or something in. On here we're actually putting on these 1x4 bricks with studs on the sides. So you can see, like, we could put this on here and it would line up perfectly, just not be attached to anything. Definitely interesting, already very asymmetric, which makes sense because one side has to have that opening door. And the interior is going to be very asymmetric as well, so even though the outside's going to look kind of like the same on both sides, there's going to be a lot on the inside that is not going to match up. I got a little note here. The Volkswagen Beetle set from 2008 was the first large-scale car model under the Creator Sculpture line. It was chosen after fans were polled on a choice of 4 potential car models. A little bummed. I think that's like the only Creator Expert car set I don't have that is no longer available. Right? There's a couple of the other ones. Like I don't have the Camaro or the pickup truck yet, but I think I've managed to get like pretty much all of the other ones. And that's the only one I'm missing, which I'm a little bummed about because it's like the only one. But then by the same token, compared to the second Beetle they made a few years ago, it really like does not hold up design-wise. It looks kind of bad compared to the new one. So I'm not too choked up about it. It would be cool if I could find a good deal on one, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep about it. I mean, really, at the end of the day, right? It's just a toy. If you have it or don't have it, it's not gonna ruin your life. A lot of other more important things out there. Got some interesting techniques here with these headlight bricks. Not just using them for their snot ability on the front, but also using the open holes on the back for some snot building there. we're already starting on something that's going to be part of like the interior mechanisms. Still not quite fully clear why we have that hinge brick there instead of just a normal 1x2, but I'm sure that will be revealed at some point. This is interesting. So this brick with this groove in it is normally used for like the sliding garage doors. Not sure what it's going to be used for here, but it's going to be used for the sliding door on the van or something else. Like still haven't quite figured out which way is the front just yet. There's nothing clearly indicating one way or the other, so. There's quite a bit of tiling there. I think that's going to have to be like the final flooring of the van. And almost just kind of by virtue of how high up we're built on this side, I feel like this has to be the passenger side, and that is going to be the sliding door. And like the driver's seat will be like over here, and the engine in the back. So this assembly we've got going on is very similar to the one on the other side here. Oh, and that one, I realized I missed a 1x1 round plate there. Oops. So whereas on this side we've got this bracket, here we have like all these snot bricks and this hinge brick here. Kind of interesting difference. We're just about done with our first bag here. So we got these technical 1.5 pins. We're putting these triangle bracket pieces on here. Not sure what that gives us. And then a half plate of thickness, or half brick of thickness there. We've got some Exoforce arms. And I think it's too early to say for sure, but this might be like related to the camper pop-up mechanism, we'll have to say. All right, on to our second set of bags. Lots more Technic, but we've got some gears and stuff in this one. Looks like gonna have like the functional steering, I think, that we'll be building here. Always fun to build a clever Technic mechanism. Sorry. Interesting, lots of snot and some bars and clips there. We're actually using this railing piece, taking advantage of those holes there, being able to take the studs on top of bricks to actually attach this just like that. And again, I think this may be part of the pop-up mechanism there. Can go down. Got a good range of motion. Because based on all the colors, right, the greens and reds and yellows, it's not going to be visible in the final project, but the final build. We'll see. We shall see. And this is why we had to use the hinge brick here, I think. Because I feel like if this had been a brick with studs on it, this bracket here wouldn't have been able to fit. Let's test that theory. Well, I guess it would have been able to fit, but then you would not have been able to use the lower studs on there. So that is where that hinge brick comes into play. Interesting, we got this snot bracket that we're putting on here. And this goes on here. Make sure everything's lined up. Yeah, that looks good. So that tells me that this part at least is probably not for the pop-up mechanism, but probably for the engine compartment, right? And this snot bracket here, those studs are probably gonna be what like the engine attaches to, and maybe this yellow Technic piece, and then these will be to allow the, I guess the engine cover, I want to call it the hood because it's not the front of the car, to open up. interesting. So we built this. It's going on a lot of these snot brackets that we put on before, and then that lines up perfectly with that 1x2 hinge brick that is now just a low-profile snot brick. Curious that we couldn't have used like one of these pieces up there somehow, but I guess that method worked quite well here. Building up the side here. So we did all that, and now it's time to push it all off to the side and start building some Technic. Some of our little steering thingies here are going to be using, I assume, with these pieces, these mixer joints, to allow us to turn the wheels. We got a nice recolor on these pieces, or I don't know if it's a recolor or if it's a new piece. Okay, no, so the reason it's white and not, what were the other ones, black I believe? It's because this one does not have any friction and it can spin freely here. So it's not a recolor, it is technically a new piece. Same look, but no friction in this version. Starting to get some structure here. You can see how those wheels will be spinning back and forth, which is obviously to sturdy it up top there. Alright, and now no more floppiness. It's a nice smooth motion from side to side for those wheels. And a nice very low profile too. Makes it easy to fit and still have a good looking car. Of course, you have a steering mechanism without some gears to actuate it. So as this blue gear turns, it's going to turn the gray gear, which turns this little orange Technic beam to turn the wheels back and forth. Really simple. No actual like connection between the two, so it's kind of interesting. Well, and then we've got these pieces that go on top, so you can attach studs to the whole thing and incorporate it into what is primarily a system model. Alright, now this whole thing attaches on here with 5-pin connections. Look at that, there's 1x3 plates lined up perfectly with these Technic attachments. And now we just need a steering wheel eventually to turn that blue gear so we have steering. I've got another little note in the instructions here. A 4x4 version of the T2 van was developed, but never made it into production. The technology was adopted by the T3 model called the Synchro, an all-wheel drive Volkswagen van. Interesting. And more interesting, these little axles here aren't really held in place by anything just yet. Hopefully we put some more half bushings on here or something. Interesting. So this little attachment here with this clip, I wonder if that's going to be also for the engine, connecting the engine in the back there. But it does have the added benefit of keeping the axle from going all the way out for now. So it kind of keeps that in place so they can't fall out all the time. I'm kind of wondering about this 2x2 plate and these 1x8 plates. They look kind of odd here, making me wonder if they're just here so that when we flip it back over, it's on a even surface. We're just about to bag 2. I think we're gonna keep going and do bag 3 before we do our first giveaway today. Yeah, and that bag snuck up on me there. All right, so not quite looking like the T2 van just yet, but we're definitely gonna have a good frame. We've got our steering going in. We've got maybe, there we go, our axles for the rear tires. Lots of snot brackets and bricks. Lots of attachment points for the side paneling to make it all beautiful blue. Lots more Technic bricks and snot brackets in bag 3. We've got this little cardboard box. Curious, is it going to be string? Is it going to be rubber bands? What are we going to be putting in on here? Oops. tape all the way. A lone little rubber band. It's gotta be in its own little cardboard box. At least it's cardboard and recyclable. So we'll see what that gets used for. Maybe for the door mechanism, maybe we start on that. Alright, so it looks like we're gonna be starting with like the front pillars here to hold up the the driver and passenger seat, and they look to be pretty much identical. Oh, hey, it's a butt loaf. How's it going, sir? So we're just gonna build both of these at once. Push it off to the side for now. Scrumptious. Glad to hear it. Taking any fun classes this semester? It looks like I may have spoken too soon by assuming the two pillars are mirrored, because I only have one 2x8 brick here, so I'm just gonna put you off to the side for now and focus on this one. Fun. Capstone projects are always a good time, I guess. They're a time. I'm sure by about 2/3 of the way through, you'll want it to be done. I remember for my senior project, it was, you know, you start off with your eyes set on one thing, and by halfway through the semester, you're like, oh, maybe we were a little ambitious there. Have to dial this back a tad. Get to use motion capture. So you gotta wear one of those like green spandex suits with all the little dots on it. After production, I've got a little note in the instructions here. After production of the Volkswagen T2 stopped in 1979 to make way for the new T3 model, the T2 design stayed in production in Brazil until as late as 2013. So it stopped everywhere else in 1979, and then went for another 34 years in Brazil. Shot on the side here as we attach these parts. So here we're attaching like all these Technic parts to the side. We got all the snot brackets from earlier. Breaking off these. couldn't have been that important, right? Let's figure out where that went. Okay, just right there. Alright, so now to keep me from breaking off those bricks again, use these guys to further attach everything. Like building up the side here, kind of just slowly stepping it down. Probably make that perfect for some curved slopes to give a nice gradual rounding of the body there. Kind of interesting. This stuff alone uses 3 different colors of 1x2 plates. Well, I don't think any of them are going to be visible in the end. So just kind of all speaks to designing something to be easy to follow the instructions on. Although, I guess if you're colorblind, depending on your type of color blindness, it could make things much more painful to try to figure out. This all goes over here. Alright. Now on to the passenger side. So we got that far before. Coming to a startling halt due to a lack of a 2x8 brick. Alright, there's that. And now looks like we're good to work a little bit on the sliding door mechanism here. Yeah, do you remember doing that, or did you just remember being told that you scratched his face up? Oh, poor kid. Having to put up with you. I don't know, the idea of just living in a camper and like drive around wherever, I definitely see the appeal of that, but I don't know, it's nice to have like a place to call home that you can always go back to. But obviously, to each their own. Someone wants to live that life, and power to them. Just don't think it's for me. Have no home. I mean, I'm sure you've got somewhere you call home. Alright, like I haven't been to the house I grew up in years now, but doesn't mean I don't have a home. I think this is like our second piece in the final outdoor or outer color. Lovely azure there. Moved every 3 years of your life. That is insane, but I can see like, well, insane to me. You know, I could not imagine doing that. But I assume, you know, if you grow up that way, then you kind of get used to it and can tolerate it better. No friends at all, I'm sure. You know, I certainly ended up moving a lot while I was in college, but I feel like that's a normal college thing, right? Moving in and out of dorms and apartments and all that fun stuff. But once I got out of college, I was definitely all about finding a place where I could be a little more settled. All right, I think this is part of our sliding door mechanism. So put this like 1x4 by what is like 3 panel here, so this little Technic piece could fit inside. That's gotta be something to do with the door mechanism, whether it's a lock or something. Go there. And attach rubber band to this little toe ball in here and then over this bushing. Always fun doing that. I'm gonna just try starting with the bushing first and then going, oh, it moves down. Okay, that made it easier to do it the other way. There we go. Once you do that, you can attach that Technic brick down here. There we go. So now you can like push this up, and you can see it turns that half beam, which I assume will like push out the door maybe? Like it'll push out the door so then you can slide it down. Yeah, I mean, I definitely had no idea where I was going. What did I do? Let's just go there. Where I was going after college at the beginning of my senior year. Probably around like February, March, started doing like job fairs and all that other fun stuff and figured it out before I graduated for sure, but not like super early. It's not like going to college where, at least in, you know, in North America, when you're in high school, like, you gotta figure out where you're going to college by like, I don't know, it feels like October of your senior year, at least when I was there, right, with early admissions and all that stuff. Like, figuring out your career after college is a bit more low-key. Oh, that's backwards. Oopsie. This rubber band is putting a lot of pressure in this area. So I think gotta be careful as you're adding on other parts that you make sure it's all connected well so you can lock it all in. Which is why I think this piece fell off before. I did it backwards again. Ugh. goes like that. There we go. All right, now stay this time, will ya? I thought it was relevant to my studies, and then by now, like looking at the last however many years I've been working since college, it's like, how did I go from studying computer engineering to where I am today? So like I had done some internships while I was in college, specifically working for the government. And those internships were like very much related to what I was studying at the time. And then, so I got a job out of college working for a different organization, but I thought it was going to be the same kind of work. That would be like relevant to what I had studied, and then just I guess it started out kind of similar to what I'd done in my internships, and then just over the years it became much less related to where now I'm doing more project management and things like that rather than actual computer engineering. Not that any of that is bad, just, you know, if you got to 21-year-old me and told them what they'd be doing in a decade or two, decade and a half or so, be like, wait, what? That wasn't what I went to school for. Alright, I think we're getting close to finishing up bag 3. So before I forget, we'll put up our giveaway link again. If you have time to enter to win a prize. I don't have any game design professional friends, sorry. Or if I did, I would certainly hook you up, but have some people who want to do game design, do it for fun on the side, but not professionally. Yeah, that is definitely a good thing about internships, though, is as much as you can like learn what you want to do in an internship, you can also learn what you don't want to do in an internship. Like one of my internships I did was doing like tech support, help desk stuff, and learned I definitely did not want to do that. Learned a lot technically from it, like a lot of interesting things. Learned a lot about companies and corporate work and all that not so fun stuff about the real world. But also learned, yeah, I did not want to go into IT professionally. Oh yeah, these back bumpers going on here with the tail lights. Definitely nice and smooth here. Now we got some more of these curves. In there. Offset by half a plate there, just to kind of give like a gradual roundness. And yeah, especially here where it attaches to these pieces or abuts these pieces and doesn't actually attach. All right, let's switch over to our, nope, that's not what I want to do. There we go, switch over to that shot real quick. Take a look at what we've accomplished so far. Doing pretty good. Not quite looking like the T2 van, but you can kind of see where we're getting here, right? We're gonna have our driver and passenger seats up here. We've got our working steering in place. So yeah, we've got our front pillars here for the driver passenger compartment, starting on the pillars for like the back, so you can have some nice big windows back here, and then we have our sort of our mechanism for the sliding door. So we've got this big garage door track here. Then we've got the 1x4 similar versions here, so the door will be able to slide on those. And then we've got our little Technic axle here that when you push, turns that lever here to push that door out, so it can push out and then slide. So my assumption, we'll see how that works in the final build. All right, let's open up our fourth set of bags and then pick our first kit order. Well, we've got some fabric pieces, it looks like. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing some of the side windows. Lots of like the white curved slopes from the top half of the van. Ooh, excuse me. All right. Let's turn off the giveaway link. Switch back over here. Impelio Bricks, congrats. You've won the Darth Maul buildable figure. So we'll get in touch and get you that. Probably do that when we send out your lug bulk. Just save some money on shipping there and toss that in. All right, so we got here. Oh wow, this is like spongy. Okay, I think it was just because it was folded up, it seemed spongier than it actually was. It seems like a normal kind of fabric. Reminds me a little bit of the Range Trooper buildable figure fabric. Assuming we don't use it in this step, I think they just wanted to include all the fabric in the same thing because you do have little curtains here. Paleo 1 Darth Maul. So you can see the little printing on there. I assume there's, okay, there's left and right versions of little curtains here. Lots of them. There we go, all those little curtains. Alright, oh, not quite there yet. Try to get some of these window pieces out of here. Maybe keep them from being a little more scratched up than they already, I'm sure, are. And I like the idea of having like these nicely bound instruction manuals, but sometimes they're just so much more of a pain, right? Like there's this little inset here, like here is how you build this, and you just can't like see what you're supposed to build without like bending this all over. If it was just a normal instruction manual with staples, right, it would like fold open so much more flat. Be so much easier to read. Kind of miss the days when like a creator expert set had like 4 instruction books, so they weren't too thick and you could easily see the corners there. And sometimes like on the last section, right, in like one of the little insets of the parts, there was like a 1x1 plate, but it was all the way in the corner and I couldn't see it. And thankfully I didn't miss it as I was putting all the parts on for that step. And I'm like, oh, there's a 1x1 plate I need to put here. But other times it was all the way in the corner there. You just kind of miss that you need that plate altogether. There's gotta be a better way, Lego. Do you actually look through your own instructions, or you just look at the PDF files and be like, oh yeah, this is perfect? That's going to be part of the finished exterior there. Interesting, we've got a little notch. Not sure if that's going to be part of the door. If like the door's going to slide in there or something, or if it's supposed to have like just a little indent there on the actual van. Oh, we got some Unikitty tiles here in light gray. Yeah, I was talking earlier on stream before you joined us that I've been watching the new Amazon Lord of the Rings series that I think has been like well produced, well shot and everything, but it kind of still remains to be seen as far as like how well they do Middle Earth. I think they're off to a good start, so we'll see how that progresses. But I have been enjoying that. All right, so this piece has got that little 1x2 with the track, and it is going in here. That's going to be part of our door mechanism here. What else have I been watching? She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Gotta keep up with all the Marvel stuff. You don't got to, but I choose to keep up with the Marvel stuff. Enjoy it for the most part. So She-Hulk has been quite good. I've definitely been enjoying that. I definitely like it when they try to do something different, and I think in this case they are trying and succeeding to do something different with She-Hulk. Like, it's got some fourth wall breakingness, lots of humor, you know, so definitely a fun show. Like, it almost has like a Deadpool style irreverence to it, where it's like, yeah, this is like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but we don't always have to take ourselves super seriously, right? And definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's no Loki for sure, or WandaVision, but it's definitely is fun for like a short 20-something minute like sitcom format. Alright, so we're using these Unikitty pieces, tiles here, with the curtains and some little ink wells. Go in there, and then how did I attach this wrong? There's something wrong here. Yeah, it's supposed to go like that. That makes more sense. Nope, still did something wrong here. What did I do? I just put this entire plate on wrong. There we go. It's supposed to be like that. Like that. Alright, now I can actually attach the curtains. Alright, and there are our little curtains. Kind of annoyed they're not like hanging very straight here. Can we like adjust them a little bit? I think even if I'm trying to like twist them up top, it's kind of hard to get them to be perfectly straight, which I guess is kind of somewhat realistic. And then that attaches onto there. Yeah, never got around to Game of Thrones, and then when the last season aired and people had all those complaints about it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't feel like I need to watch this. One show I am finally watching, not very BZPower friendly, but I've been finally getting around to it, is The Boys. Read the comics, I don't know, like after the show started coming out and people started raving about the show, I was like, oh, let me give the comics a try, and definitely enjoyed those. and yeah, definitely getting around to watching the show. Very not child friendly, very mature show. Just so violent in so many ways, but just a really interesting take on superheroes. And the show has like diverged a lot from the comics, which in some ways, like, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, there's some things that they change. I'm like, oh, why'd they have to change that? But in other ways, I think it works just to update things for the times. You know, that's very understandable. That can't have a perfect adaptation. And sometimes you don't want to have a perfect adaptation, right? So a lot of times what works in a comic or a book isn't going to work in a TV show or a movie. So I definitely understand changing things. But one of the kind of upsides of it is that, like, I have no idea where they're going from episode to episode. I'm like, wait, this is not at all how this happened in the comic. Where the heck are they going to go with this now? So it definitely keeps you on your toes there. All right, so we got some printed parts, which is kind of interesting. These 2x4 curved slopes have these kind of grooves printed on them. Then we have a matching 2x2 tile. Kind of curious as to why that ended up being printed, because I feel like in another set that those would have been stickers. Like you know, frequently get stickers on a 2x2 tile. And we've definitely gotten stickers on these 2x4 curve slopes. So kind of interesting that we got prints there. I'm not going to complain about it. Just comment that it is unusual in a Lego set to see that. Where am I? I'm on the 3rd season of The Boys. Like, I think like halfway through the 3rd season. But yeah, definitely a very solid show so far. They made it to Russia. I think that's the last episode I got, was when they were in Russia. And I'll leave it at that. We'll talk about why they were in Russia or who they saw in Russia or anything, but they were in Russia. One of the things that I hadn't realized about The Boys, just from a showrunning perspective, is that it's made by, like, one of the main producers, showrunners is Eric Kripke, who did Supernatural, which I didn't watch Supernatural from the very beginning, but I definitely got into it like earlier on, and then just watched all the way through till the end. And so definitely can see the similarities in like the showrunning nature of it with what Eric Kripke is doing. And then there's just silly things he does with bringing the actor who played Bobby Singer in Supernatural to play Robert Singer, the Secretary of Defense in The Boys, which is hilarious. Just very fun for a Supernatural fan to see them do that. I think it's pretty widely was revealed. Like I even knew before I started watching the show that, you know, obviously Jensen Ackles is in it, and I'm just like, once I saw that the guy who played Bobby is in there too, I'm like, oh, I hope they get some sort of interaction. I haven't seen it happen yet, but I think I'm getting close to the point where that could happen in the show. So keeping my fingers crossed. But yes, it's definitely super interesting to see how much they've changed it from the comics. Like, so many of the character arcs are so different. Like, Black Noir and the Deep are just like completely different from the books. I think the Black Noir thing, I think, kind of makes sense, but because, like, again, that element of surprise. Like, if you were watching the show and had read the comic books and you knew, like, the Black Noir reveal from the books, and they did the exact same thing in the show, it wouldn't have had the same effect. So instead, they're just like, yeah, we're just gonna do something different. And now I'm just like, well, now what are they gonna do? How are they gonna do this, this, and this from the comics? So very fun. All right, not screwing up this part this time. Yeah, I watched all of Better Call Saul. Thought that was pretty fantastic, the last season there. Good old Saul, just he never changes, right? Like, that was a very Saul way to end things. And I do like how they kind of ended up making it not just a prequel to Breaking Bad. Obviously they answered the big questions, right? If you've watched any of Better Call Saul, you know that Saul has like a love interest in the show, Rhea Seehorn's character. And if you watched Breaking Bad, you know that she wasn't in there. So that was like the big question, was like, well, what happens to her? And you find that out, and then you find out so much more. So much more. So good. And much like The Boys, it's got the fabulous Giancarlo Esposito in it, who makes any show better. So, you have another reason to watch that. All right, so got our two driver's side window sections identical here, and they have these pin axle combos that aren't like physically attaching it. They're just kind of here to help line those up. So they go on the side here. Yeah, super well done. Like, now it's like, well, what are you gonna do next, Vince Gilligan? Like, how are you gonna top that? Well, hey, even if you can't remember too well, at least, you know, you got your recommended daily allotment of vitamins and minerals, so. This in here, which helps attach the two window sections. And at this point, between the piece we put back here and this guy, these are firmly attached. And of course, we're gonna, you know, lock it even more in place up here and other things. So it's not gonna be going anywhere. Let's see, anything else I've been watching? I've been watching the new season of Star Trek Lower Decks as a good old Star Trek nerd. It's been a lot of fun, and it has the boys connection because Jack Quaid is one of the voice actors in Lower Decks, and he plays Huey in The Boys. So kind of interesting seeing him there again. Alright, got some more prints here. This is like the mirrored set to the ones on the passenger side. That goes back here. Doing some interior work. Interesting. Our interior is still very bare bones right now, but I'm sure we'll get there. We got to get there sooner than later, probably before we build the roof, right? So can't be too long before we start working on the inside. I think these are the start of getting the support in here for the track so we can attach the door on the passenger side. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we got another one of those garage door track pieces. It's gonna go in here. I'm just gonna line up with that garage door track piece down there. Let's see, it's gonna go in here. Also just kind of connect this whole top section on the passenger side, making it fairly nice and solid. Kind of pick it up by that. Not going anywhere just yet. Better end. Add some nice azure to this side. Interesting. This is going to get kind of a matching track piece. Another one of these. I assume that's just because it's got a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. They just want to add a 1x14 brick without the track, right? Because that just adds another part that they have to like make sure is in production in the right color. So why not just use the same one, even if it's not going to have anything in there. This one's got a little piece of dust in here that doesn't want to come out. Hang on. There we go. Alright, I can do some work on the back here. Not sure this is just, looks like it's just some aesthetic detailing, even though there are some Technic pins involved. What was that? Yeah, it might be used as like a bumper or something. Have to tune in to find out. Yes, even though we've got these 1x2 pieces with a Technic pin, I'm just kind of attaching them on the inside here. The only thing I can think of is that like the roundedness and that bushing piece up there kind of makes like a spacer or bumper. Got some kind of back corner panels here. Just about done with bag 4. Oh, we actually gonna have our first stickers going in here. That's a little bit of a bummer. Just having so much fun with the printed pieces. Why did they have to go and ruin it with stickers? I think these are part of the back bumper. And they attach on there. Ooh, look at that nice roundedness. Alright. Let's get the last couple 1x2 curves. You just get these little kind of black bar stickers on them. Alright, and that is bag 4. Time for bag 5, which looks like we're going to be working on the front, adding in the driver and passenger seats at the very least. Oh, and some of the interior as well. So it's going to be an interior focused bag. Which, like I said, kind of have to do that before too long, before we put the roof and everything on, otherwise it'll be a little tricky to get our hands in there to put some furniture in. Alright, this looks like it's some cabinets, or like the kitchen area, or table in the inside of the camper. Just gonna go and back here. So it kind of lines up perfectly on these snot brick sections. What are those? Really, those like bracket things. It goes on here, and it just rests on top of them. It doesn't actually connect, only attaches on the bottom. Oh, and in the next step, we're building apparently a propane tank. There's a little note that says, camper refrigerators in the 70s were normally powered by propane gas, which is also used for the cooking stove and cabin heater. That's kind of interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard of a propane-powered refrigerator. Got our little propane tank here. Maybe that's how they looked in the 70s. Not quite what they look like today. Usually they're white for starters. I feel like that is a regulation thing too. The color and design of them. So they can be standardized for refilling since they have to contain flammable gas under pressure. Okay, now I get to build some seats. I feel like we have seen this sort of seat design several times over the years in a lot of the other Creator Expert vehicles. Maybe with like some, definitely with some variations, obviously with like different colors and stuff, but yeah, using those like 1x2 curved slopes, inverted versions on both sides, and then either these grooved bricks or like the rounded ones to give like a texture to the seat, different things like that. Been pretty common over the years. Also, it's kind of one of those things that, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I got some clips here to attach it to those bars, which I thought was going to be part of the roof mechanism, but I guess it's just for the seat here, so it can fold down. I'm not sure if it's folding into the bed or just folding like to allow access to the back or what. Right. There we go, lovely little seat. Oh, we got our note, the rear bench seat on camping versions of the vehicle could be converted into a sleeping position. This is known as a rock and roll bed. Interesting. All right, so yeah, like I said, we got that little assembly here, some clips. Shit's in there, yep, all right. Very tight squeeze. Let's see, does it go any more further? I think that's, or is it just rubbing against something here? There we go. All right, yeah, so it can go like that, and be like a normal bench, or you can fold it out into a bed. Not sure how comfy of a bed, but a bed nonetheless. I think we're building here going to be kind of the inside of the driver's compartment slash the wheel well covers for the front wheels. So, dual purpose thing. It has to be very efficient with the pieces they use, so you can kind of fill in those wheel wells and also start working on the driver's area. Have it look good in both sections. Alright, yeah, so this whole thing now gets flipped like that and attached here. So these snot bricks, let's move this forward, are going to line up with, I guess, like the floor of our driver's compartment. But then these nice curves for the tires and the for the front wheels. Alright, that was pretty intense with all the snot work we have going on, right? We've got like the bricks coming like here, all the way up here, and then facing up that way, then facing out to the sides and the back. Now, looks like we're making our driver and passenger seats. So let's push this off to the side for a sec while we do that. Now, looks like that's probably going to be about it for bag 5. unlike the rock and roll bed, these ones are going to be fixed in a 90-degree position here. Well, it looks like they are not identical, because we only have one of these 1x3 plates we need. So I guess we'll put that one off to the side and just finish up this one, see how it goes. Oh, seriously, they're just like, oh, we don't feel like putting in another 1x3 plate, so we're just gonna do a 1x2 and a 1x1. Like, seriously, that is the only difference from keeping these being symmetric. What? Why would you do that? Like, that just makes no sense to me. So it was very nonsensical decisions. It's like, you already have these 1x3 plates in here, just put one more in. Alright, there's our front seats. Very low to the floor. There's no gap between them and the ground. Probably not very accurate there. Strikes me as a teensy bit odd. You get a little shifter here. It's apparently a manual transmission T2. I assume most of them were probably manual transmissions since it was like the 60s and 70s. Alright, that's it for bag 5. Moving on to bag 6, where we still don't have the steering mechanism, but are going to be working more on the interior. Filling in this section here, and then putting a roof on the front, it looks like. And we'll do another giveaway after bag 6 here. I'll have to decide if this is going to be our last bag or not. We're making a pretty good time. I think we can probably do at least one more after this. Give us a shorter stream next week. Bag 7 also has a lot of the medium azure parts, so maybe we'll be doing some like finished work on it, which always is fun to like get something that's like, all right, this is like done. This is part of the final model. so many snot brackets. Interesting, we've got so many snot brackets that we're just kind of building on them with the studs facing up as if that's the way they're supposed to go, which I don't think is the way they're supposed to go. We're just doing that because it's easier to attach things onto them like this. I think this red kind of inset area is going to be the refrigerator, which, as we learned, is powered by propane. Got a couple of cans of generic soda, nice little printed tops there. As well as a banana in our fridge. I think that's maybe supposed to be like an orange juice container or something. Or trans blue is supposed to be like one of those little pull-out drawers, I guess. And the banana is kind of sticking out of. I mean, I'm really appreciating that they found a way for us to build all this stuff outside of the camper and then put it all in. Because yes, there are a lot of details and there's a lot of fine detail work that'd be a huge pain to do if it was in the final build. It's definitely details, like all these little things that are reasons why I'm not sad I missed out on that first Volkswagen Beetle set, because you know they did not have this level of detail in the interior of this set. Sure that was in all the way. Snapped it out. Not quite sure what those are supposed to be just yet. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. So here is one of the, I guess, cabinet. Oh, this is the door that's hiding the propane tank, so you can't see the propane tank. And we've got this gap in between the two hinge bricks, so each one will be able to open. Probably not both at the same time. So maybe this is like a vent or like a hose connection or something for the propane tank. Well, I'm glad that you learned something from me yelling at you about not knowing the difference between plates and tiles at Brickford, Virginia. I'm glad it sunk in. All right, and there is the refrigerator. I love how, like, from the outside, it's like all built in, so you can't even tell like that it is a fridge or anything until you open it up. You got those little details in there. So can you open up both at once? Oh, you can even open up both at once. There's enough clearance to do that. That's awesome. Does mean you have that like kind of ugly little gap there. But if they were like right next to each other, you wouldn't really be able to open either, let alone both. So need some sort of clearance. I think this is about done. I like using that little cabinet piece. Just there's like a gray top in the fridge to make it look more like a refrigerator. Oh wait, there's more. We're not quite done yet. What do we got? Got one of these Mario pieces. That's where it was first introduced, I believe, the Super Mario sets. They've got a little goblin arm. I think these were used, I forget if they were first in Nexo Knights or first in Elves. They're used in some of the adversaries there. So that clips on here. That is going to be like a fold out table. Oh wait, so I thought this was silver or gray, just so it could be the top of the refrigerator. This is all like at like knee level. This is a countertop that we've built here. This is the sink, and these are going to be the controls for the stove we're about to build. So we got a little propane stove here. And a little tea kettle. That is awesome. That is a cool little build there. Not sure how I feel about having like an open flame there, but I guess, you know, it's a gas stove, so it makes sense. All right, now I get to put this whole fun assembly into our camper van. So it's the best angle we can do. There we go. This whole thing just kind of drops in over that propane tank we put in like 3 bags ago. There are 2 studs up here we have to line up, but most of them are along the back there. But it just kind of drops into place. Fix a little tile. And yeah, now when you're sitting in the back seat there, you have a little fold out table. Got your sink, you've got your fridge underneath the sink, and you've got your propane tank in there. That is some crazy, crazy details there. So it's interesting when you use snot brackets or another snot piece to put the studs back on top. It's like, wait, does it kind of defeat the purpose there? Well, no. Because we went from having studs up to studs out to studs back up again. And now we're going to make the roof for the front area here. It's probably going to be the last thing we're doing here in bag 6. So as we make some progress, get a little bit further along, we will put the giveaway link back up so you can do giveaway at the end of this bag. Interesting, we got some plates with clips on them here. Not sure what that's going to be for. Maybe for the camper mechanism, but I was wrong about that before, so we'll have to see. Giveaway link back up. Alright, that is hopefully just part of the roof. I'm not sure I like having all those studs exposed. Let's take a quick look at the instructions. Okay, yeah, we'll clean all that up later. But at the very least, now that I'm pretty sure the interior is pretty much done, yeah, we can start working on the top there. There's probably maybe some stuff that has to go in the back, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. All right, that is it for bag 6. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up bag number 7. While I do that, let's switch over there. So we'll take a look at what we've done so far before we pick our next giveaway winner. It looks like bag 7, we might get to do the sliding door, which is pretty exciting. definitely excited to see how that comes together. Well, yeah, considering we've got a clear window element, probably a good sign. All right. Who is our second winner going to be? Hey, Buttloaf. I know that dude. They have won a Short Trooper buildable figure. Congratulations. All right. Let's get into position here. Start on the next bag. There we go. Shaky cam and all. Alright, we're doing quite a bit in this bag of the finished azure coloring. So it'll look nice and pretty. Curve slope. There we go. Definitely liking how that's looking with all the curved slopes, giving a nice kind of gradual curving for the wheel well. You can do some of that on the other side here. Such lovely curves going in there. Making it look nice and clean and sleek. Oh, what was that? That's okay. I'm glad I started with this top row tiles. They're quite the pain to put on here. Especially because they're inset a little bit. There's a little lip there. So even trickier to get to stay on there. Ah, something crashed. I was paying attention to put that on the wrong spot. Ooh, look at that. Nice and smooth. Alright, so this is going to be, I'm sure it's the front or the rear bumper. Considering how little we've done on the front, probably the rear bumper. And it means we have to do the license plate in a sec. Two license plate options. Not sure what this one is. I assume it's some European license plate, probably either Germany or Denmark. And the other one, very obviously, is California. I'm not sure what the 4617 EK means, so I'm sure it's a reference the set designer put in this in with the H22A. We're gonna go ahead and put the California one on. Play that one off to the side for now. Alright, and this goes on the back here on those clips we put in, like back in bag 1 or 2. I have to fold these down a bit so we can get this in here. Oh, we get to build the engine in this bag too. That's what's going in next. I cannot get this to clip in. Alright, I think I got it. There we go, so that goes in and it folds out. That's like a really smooth motion because it's got two clip hinge joints in there. It's always fun building the engines in these Creator Expert Lego icons, cars, vehicles. Even the ones that, you know, like this one that don't work, and like a Technic one that has like pistons and stuff. But the designers really get to kind of run wild with doing all sorts of little greebly stuff and adding cool details to them. man, I've got like the whole exhaust system coming in here. I guess if you put the engine right in the back of the car, you need a shorter exhaust system, so you don't have to have it going like throughout the entire underbelly of the vehicle. I don't know if that's an advantage or not, but it's certainly a consideration. It's one of the fairly newer Technic pieces. It's like a Technic half pin, but instead of a stud, it has a thing that can receive a stud, a tube, I guess, that can go like that. And it does not have friction, so it can spin freely. This, I think, is also a fairly recent piece. I don't think I've held one in my hands before. So like instead of a normal like 1x2 snot bracket, it's like 3 of those with another plate added on for, I guess, additional support. So I missed putting that on there. Did I miss anything else? Is there anything else supposed to be attached to that? Oh, there's the step. Okay, not just that. Note here, the air-cooled Boxer engine was famous for its reliability, humble power, and recognizable sound. All right, now attaches in here. So we've got that 1x2 plate with the bar. I think that's the only thing that connects here, is that it just connects to this 1x2 brick with a clip. So it just kind of clips in there. Made it a little difficult to close this. Maybe it's not supposed to close. Oh, no, okay. So it can close all the way. And then pull it out. You can kind of see the engine in there, but it's easy enough to pull out. Although, interesting, we're going to be kind of locking it in place here with this plate and the tile. So the engine is quote-unquote removable, but you have to take off this part and then unclip it. It's better than most sets, I would say. Most of these Creator Expert sets where it's hard to see the engine, so won't complain too much there. All right, now we get to make the back window, it looks like. Oh, we got some stickers, or a sticker, with the Volkswagen logo. Yep, it's number 5. So we're not doing the sliding door just yet. I think that window tile that I saw is going to just be used for this back window, the tailgate, I guess. A little bit of a bummer. Definitely been looking forward to that sliding door. I guess I'll probably have to wait till next week though, because I think it's going to be all we do today. Lots and lots of headlight bricks. Attach that onto, and then that goes like so. Some pretty clever snot techniques there, like getting these pieces to line up the snot work just perfectly. So they use 1x4 arches, kind of tie the top and the bottom together, make that super sturdy. interesting. These are the last two curtain pieces that we've got. I wonder if that means the sliding door then doesn't have curtains, because it said at the beginning of the bag 7 section that we used the curtains. I'm like, oh, that was probably why I thought we were using or making the sliding door there. So kind of interesting. But more interesting is how this tailgate is attached. So you've got these clip and bar holders with these black lightsaber bars. And the bars are actually going to be inserted into these Technic pins that before I thought were just going to be there for like spacers or something. But no, this is how the back tailgate is attached. Ooh. That works surprisingly well as a pivot there. A little bit, it's like hitting something in here. Oh, something popped off, that's why. It's not all the way attached. Oh yeah, it works very well once you have it done correctly. Alright, and that is it for bag 7. I think it's going to be it for our stream today, just at a little over 3 hours. So we do have another giveaway to do, so let's put up that link. Switch to the main view. Let's clean up a little bit. We'll show off what we've built today, and then get ready, or do our last giveaway, and then yeah, hopefully next weekend, I'm hoping very much, we'll be able to finish this, but can never say for sure what may arise, but I would definitely look at much more like the T2 van from the front, not so much, but a lot of ugly Technic stuff still visible for the steering. Not that Technic is ugly, but just doesn't match the final color scheme. But we do have the driver and passenger seats and our little shifter in here. And then we've got the beginning of our sliding door mechanism, where there's this little Technic axle here. When we push that moves that lever out there, and it's spring loaded, so it'll automatically pop back up when you let go. And my guess is that this is going to push the door out a little so that you can then slide it, because we've got this little battle droid hand and a track here. I'm assuming is going to help the door slide back and forth. So I'm really looking forward to that mechanism, seeing how that works. We've got the spots where our back tires are going to go eventually, with the axles already ready for it. We've got our awesome interior with our fold-out bed, fold-out couch folds into a bed there. But when you're using it in couch mode, you've got a little table that pops up. So you've got a little kitchen with a sink, a stove, a little tea kettle, and if you look at it through our door here, sorry, just trying to balance my elbow, we've got a refrigerator, and on the other side, a little propane tank to power the stove and fridge. So lots of awesome details. Then we've got our back tailgate that opens up, and then we also have our engine compartment. I don't know if, do you still call it the hood? It is on the back. You can see the engine in there, which if we really want to, which of course we do, can remove this 1x8 plate and tile, and then just he says, let's see, is it gonna work? Oh, you can just break the engine. All right. Seemed like it was a lot easier, but I guess not. Let's fix this. on the box they're like, oh yes, of course the engine comes out. And so I thought I could easily just pop it out, but maybe not quite as easily as I thought. There we go. There is our little engine. Cute little build. Of course, always a pleasure having all of you in the chat. Today mainly just you, Mr. Buttloaf, but always a welcome joy. Alright, and that should, it's only really attached by that one clip and bar there. So that's why I thought it would be easier to remove. And it folds back. And we've got an alternate license plate, either California or somewhere in Europe, not sure exactly where. And yeah, that is our T2 camper van for now, until we come back next week and finish it up. We've got 4 more bags left, so it should be a fairly quick build next week to do the front, the camper mechanism, and that sliding door. So let's see who our last winner for today is going to be. Let's close things down. Alright, and Lord Oblivion, congrats, you won an Elite TIE Fighter Pilot buildable figure. So we'll be in touch with you, with Paleo, and with Buttloaf to get you all your prizes. And then Buttloaf again. Yeah, so probably, I think Paleo and Lord Oblivion still got your lug bulk, so we'll probably wait and toss that all in with that once we're ready to send that out. So thanks again, everyone, for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the stream, and we will catch you next week. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great upcoming week. Bye all.